Hi everybody, how you doing? I hope you're having a good day or a good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is just a really quick update on the Epiphone inspired by Gibson J45. I've been using it a lot and over the last month or so that I've had it. I used it for various gigs and open mics and different contexts, different PA systems and things like that. So, as the title suggests, there were a few issues which I've had to sort out. Now, nothing to do with really the setup as such, as the acoustic sound was great. The pickup, however, was not good at all. So the first time I used it, it sounded really woolly and weird, not even muffled, I don't know, there was something not right. Different strings are resonating at weird frequencies. And I put that down to just not having much of a chance of a sound check at the time. So I'd literally set up my PA and had to just play because the venue was running late. But then I tried it at a friend's open mic and it wasn't sounding great at all again. And then it cut out at a gig, so I had to switch guitars. Thankfully, I had my Alvarez with me, so I just kind of swapped over. And I played it the next day when I was at home. I set up my PA stuff in my house again and played it through. And there was weird noises and kind of, again, weird frequencies. I got the power back. It stopped cutting out, but it just wasn't right. So I took it into Guitar in Edinburgh, where I bought it from, and they checked it over. And apparently the saddle hadn't been fitted properly. So I don't know if you know, with acoustic undersaddle pickups, the saddle itself needs to be completely flat for it to resonate properly through. Otherwise, it goes weird. So the saddle wasn't flat, and it was fitted too tight. The tech there, Bob, who's a well-renowned tech in Edinburgh, really knows his stuff. He had trouble getting the saddle out. It was so tight in the slot there. So he sorted it out and he filed it down for me, etc. So then that was okay, and played another couple of gigs with it, and it was all right. But it was working, but I wasn't satisfied with the sound. It just wasn't doing the guitar justice at all. So I had the idea of taking the Fishman Rare Earth humbucker, so this thing here that had previously been in my Taylor 310, and putting it in this, giving it a try. So I took the Fishman out, the undersaddle Fishman out, and took out the preamp here, which just kind of very gently eased it off because it's just stuck on with a kind of self-adhesive thing. Created a little shim. I will get a proper replacement nut at some point, but I created a shim just to fit in to replace where the undersaddle pickup had been, and fitted it all. And the sound was transformed. It was like a completely different guitar live. So when I plugged it into my desk and into my PA, it just came alive. I could hear all the strings. Everything was kind of ringing true. Now, in addition to that, I've also bought, and I should have got it out there. I'll do a B-roll in a minute. You can have a look at it. I bought an NUX or NUX Optima air pedal, which is basically a preamp and an IR loader, an impulse response loader. So because I don't often get a chance to do a proper sound check in a noisy pub. It's often difficult. The football's off and on the telly, and people are obviously having a good time and shouting and bawling, and you can't do a proper sound check where you can wander around the room necessarily. You can sometimes, but most of the time you can't on a Friday or Saturday night. I wanted something that could just get me a basic good sound, and then I could tweak it as I went. So I got that pedal. I've had that on my board as well. Created an IR with this, and I'm going to do one with my Taylor and my Alvarez as well. And so I've got a preset decent sound that's a starting point, and it's just been so much better. So this guitar's really come alive now. It's started to open up a little bit. I'm still, I've had a few people comment on the pick guard, and I've been reading on some forums. It's some of the people's pick guards have just fallen off, and then they've left it off, or they've put a thinner one on, and it has kind of helped with the sound. So we'll see. If it ever falls off, I'll leave it off and I'll make another video and we can compare it. But again, it doesn't really bother me. It's quieter than my Alvarez. It's about the same as my Taylor, which is an old guitar. It's 20 years old now. So I haven't noticed a huge difference with this, but we'll see. If it comes off. But the guitar's come alive a little bit more. And when I plug it in, it's just a different beast. It's just fantastic. Whereas before, it just wasn't good. So the moral of the story is, if you have an undersaddle pickup and it sounds weird, get your saddle checked, because obviously mass-produced guitars in factories, no matter the price point, how good they are, things slip by. The rest of the setup was fine, and if I wasn't relying on an undersaddle pickup, I wouldn't have noticed the saddle issue because it played great. But once I got that sorted, and in fact, once I took that undersaddle thing out, the guitar opened up. So, and I'm a fan of, I know a lot of people aren't, but I'm a fan of Soundtool pickups. I come from an electric background, so I know it has a slight electric edge to it, and I like that. I've got a DeArmond Tone Boss in my Alvarez as well, which is even more electric sounding, but I really like it. And I'm going to try that through the IR loader, through the Nux NUX Optima Air, and see how that sounds. So just a quick update. So I'm still enjoying this. It is a keeper. I've switched, as I said, to Elixir Strings, or back to Elixir Strings, because I was having tuning issues with the Didarios. It's brilliant now, no problems at all getting through a gig. I'm not having to retune every song. The intonation is much better as well. Still plays great. You know, it's still a nice hefty beast. When I'm playing live, I tend to hit quite hard and get a bit heavier. So this takes it, you know, and it feels substantial. I don't feel like I'm going to snap it in half, which is good. So there you go. Any questions, whack them in the comments. I can recommend this humbucker as well, this Rare Earth humbucker. They're about £160, I think, now in the UK. Probably about the same in dollars in the US, if you haven't tried one. I do have the single coil version as well. I've actually stuck that in my Taylor just now as a placeholder. But the single coil, which I had in my Taylor for years before I bought this, always had problems with noise. So if I played a venue with a light, proper, like a theatre with a proper lighting rig or something like that, then I would get a lot of hum, a lot, 60 cycle hum, whatever like you get with a Strat, but it was quite distracting. But this humbucker, as the name suggests, gets rid of a lot of that, and it's just a really, so even if my pedal board failed and I can't use my Optima Air or whatever, or my preamp, I can just plug straight in and still get a decent sound with this as well. So there you go. Well, enjoy the rest of your week, and keep playing. And any comments or questions, fire them in. I'll try and do a comparison video with all my acoustics in the next week or two as well, and I shall stick that up so you can have a listen. Thanks very much.